Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today, I'm very excited to be bringing you some initial coverage of the brand new Vagrantsong expansion, Encore. Now, if you're already a fan of Vagrantsong and you're just now learning that there's a brand new expansion coming out over on Kickstarter, I can assume you've already followed the link in the top of the video description to swing over there and back this immediately. I'll give you a second or two or three, and then hopefully you'll be back here because I'm going to walk you through all the new stuff that we know about so far, the stuff we've been able to experience here in the expansion, and the stuff that we haven't seen, but we've been hinted at is on the way and coming. Now, for those of you that don't know, I have been a fan of Vagrantsong ever since it first released. Weird Games got us a copy early on at Origins, I think a year and a half ago, and we've been talking about it since then. From the art style, to the boss battling mechanics, to the, accessible kind of mid-box size campaign game, it's been a captivating and unique experience in the realm of story-driven boss battlers. One of the more accessible ones, I would argue, and with the art style hinting at, the Cuphead animation, the townsfolk tussle style of design, it's been one that I've fallen in love with. On top of that, they use these beautiful acrylic standees, the production quality is excellent, and the writing is wonderful. So, I've been a fan of Vagrantsong for a long time. And, I'm very excited to say, this is the first time we've actually had a chance to work with Weird Games. This is a sponsored video advertising their new campaign, and alongside this, I'm happy and hoping to start a full campaign playthrough of Vagrantsong myself here on the channel. Now, that won't be sponsored or advertised in any way by them, but it's something I've been meaning to do, and now that we have this brand new studio space, it's the perfect time to start diving into some of the campaign games I've been meaning to bring to the channel for the longest time. So if you're excited about that, hit the subscribe button down below, stay tuned, leave a comment letting us know you'd like to see us do some coverage of this going forward, and we'll be glad to dive in. Okay, let's talk about Encore. Encore is composed of a variety of different modules that fit into the core game of Vagrantsong, along with a brand new set of stories, I think 18 brand new scenarios, bosses that you can face, things that look like this, which is just absolutely glorious, new mythology and lore and stories that might be told from various parts of the terrain writing part of the country. Along with that, you have a new set of core mechanics. A quick play mode that allows you to journey through the game a little bit more efficiently if you don't have the full 18 to 20 scenarios that it takes to play through a core campaign of Vagrantsong. And they're going to be introducing a story mode called Save the Soul, or Save that. I'll check in just a second. Save my soul? Let's see. Save your soul. The your is the thing that I was looking for there, where if one of your characters has gone westbound, which means kind of expired, it's a whole mechanic system, during the course of gameplay twice, you'll be able to do a side scenario to actually save your soul or save their soul, where they become the villain that you're going to be fighting against. The little meeples that we have, or little acrylic standees that we have over here to the side, show the different artwork for that specific game mode. Okay, let's talk about some of the core elements that this brand new game system, Encore, is going to be presenting. First off, of course, we have the overarching brand new story system. Part of this game is going to be mixing in brand new story events into your core deck that you can incorporate at the beginning or anytime before a certain point in the original core story. It's going to slot in, and it's going to change the way that you actually progress through the story, who you encounter, and where some of your triggers, some of your narrative choices, some of the items, the rituals, the hints that you fight are going to be popping up. It also might change the end story. I'm not sure about that yet, because we don't know. The only information I actually have that shows the depth of what might be coming is here on this book. This book actually walks me through all of the titles, but it doesn't tell me, it only lets me play a few of them. Have We Met, Follow You Into the Dark, The End of Autumn, Drag You Into the Grave, A Beating of Cold Winter Hearts, The Dark and the Deep, Go Tell the Bees, Let the Light In, which is the one scenario they've given us a chance to play here, Everything Falls Apart, In the Weary Lonesome Void, May the Dream Never End, 1,000 pages, Sound the Static, Addressing the Audience, Lift the Curse, Memory Lanes, Work to Death, Last Light in the Tunnel, The Final Snow to Fall, One Grave Left to Dig, and the End of the Bridge, which of course is the Bridge of Leaves, which we can see in the artwork on the front. They're going to be mixing in this entire new part of the campaign that uses some of the elements from the original game and tells a whole new story. So if you're ready for a whole new experience, something to journey through and play, stay tuned because it's going to get good. At the end of this, I will read some of the flavor text and go through some of the things that might be a little bit more spoily. But we can see here the Let in the Light, some of the events that we have here, the camp phase. We can see May the Dream Never End. This is actually going to be the Save Your Soul scenario for the Queen herself. And we have the last scenario they gave us here, which is Work to Death, which is another mini-boss that you can play as well. Annie's not okay, for the record. In case you were asking, she's not okay. I'll get to that flavor text in just a moment. Some of the other things are going to be highlighting. I'm going to open up this rulebook here as a way for me to make sure that I'm covering them all. I'm going to do the smaller mechanics in just a bit. I want to start with the big stuff. So, we've talked about the new chapter, the Bridge of Leaves, the new incorporation of 18 core scenarios. Let's also talk about Short Trip Mode. Short Trip Mode is going to be a set of cards that you mix in here. I have them right here. We have Tunnel Vision cards, we have Snowblind cards, Bone Orchard cards, Bridge of Leaves cards, all these story progression cards that you mix into the game that will actually allow you to play in a little bit more of a condensed pattern or method. You're going to be mixing them in. You're going to be organizing and shuffling, taking a few of them out, and then you're going to be able to actually play the game in a little bit more of a bite-sized set of chunks, as opposed to needing to play through every single system. It's going to have junk that you mix in as well, have a little bit of a prescription to allow you to get started a little bit quicker and progress through the game a little bit quicker. Going westbound is going to be different as well. In the Save Your Soul scenarios, you're going to have a few different items. First off, every one of your heroes could potentially go fully westbound, which will be twice during a campaign, and you will have to go out of your way to try to save their soul. This story will have different endings and different progression points if you're playing in Short Trip Mode or if you're playing in the core game. I'm not going to spoil what those do. I have read forward a little bit. I've spoiled some things for myself. They're very cool. I'm not going to tell you, though. You're also going to be collecting baggage. Baggage is stuff that you carry with you when you're having a bad time. These will be cards that you start incorporating onto you as you go westbound, because you're carrying a little bit of that damage with you. It's going to be covering up some of your core abilities, and it's going to be getting in the way. You have the Horrors, Barrel Belly, Brittle Bones, Hot Feet, Bad Blood, The Fits, Rumbly Tumbly, Feeling Homesick, Lost Connection, Box of Rocks, Short-Sighted, Lily-Livered, Flat-Footed, Starstruck, Sticky Fingers, Hapless Hex, Greedy Guts, Foot in the Grave, Squeamish, and Scaredy Sweats. Each time you are haunted, lose 2 humanity. To remove, use Salt on a Haint action that targets you. So, these will be incorporated into the game as well. Some of the basic stuff is going to be mixed in. We have generic coins over here. You'll be collecting these from different triggers in the game. They can be used like your normal coins, but they don't stay around forever. They're a good little reminder of some of the extra slots that you have, and they're a good way to give you a little bit of a bonus as you're going through things like camp phase or making some choices in the scenarios. We have our stop and start tokens, which will help clarify a little bit whose turn it is, who has gone, who has not gone. That's what they're used for. We have new skills and junk cards. I'll go through those in just a moment. I want to walk you through everything that we have before I do things that are a little bit more spoilery. We have the Smoky Bones dice. Different things throughout the course of the game are going to give you these lovely dice. You can have a maximum of 2 of them, and these are going to give you benefits or modifiers to whatever dice you're already rolling. You have the music note. It's considered a double success and does not combine with regular bones that have been rolled. You have the skull, which is going to consider that all the Smoky Bones are a failure. And then you have your basic numbers, which are going to tie directly to your other successes that you have on the board there. These are just going to incorporate a few more ways to trigger, manipulate, and choose what dice you want to use, and making some of those choices a little bit more interesting, or rolling the dice on some of those choices a little bit more. Moving on, any other major things we have here? I think that's the major stuff we have. So, if you're looking for more Vagrantsong, well, now is the perfect time to get it. More campaigns, a new way to approach a scenario, a quicker way to approach a story with its own alternate endings, a way to play with your characters, your heroes, in a very interesting manner, trying to save their soul, because we all know you're going to die on the pathway there, and a few little basic game mechanics, from junk cards to the baggage items to the stop-and-go tokens, that make ease of play and the flow of the game a little bit more straightforward and a little bit simpler to track and follow. Now, let's show off some of the cool things that we have. So I have a pile full of very interesting items here. I thought I'd spin through them very quickly to show you what I got. We have the Death Moth necklace, a money belt, a pickling jar, an antique vanity kit, a Sudsy soap, naturally, half-built tarot deck, good. If you roll a 0 success on a skill, you may use that skill again this next turn. Okay, that's worthwhile. A rusty concerta, a hobo code book. Once per turn, you may discard any number of rummage tokens to reroll an equal number of bones. A salted fish, lovely, in a newspaper. An old cushion. Cracked pepper shaker, very useful those. Trench lighter, I don't even know what that is. A pocket orchestra. A squirrely squire. You may trade, give, or use 2 rummage tokens per round, but they may be different. But they must be different rummage token types. Okay, helpful little squirrel. Tin can telephone, one-armed scissor, ball and cup, a junk tar, a paper pastoral, a hand mirror, combat boots, a party popper, a trusty bindle stick, a shellac 78, spicy sunflower seeds, and a cat's collar. The start of a scenario, place DC in an open space at range 5. If a vagrant starts their turn adjacent to DC, they place DC in an open space on the terrain board, at least range 3 from another vagrant, to gain a generic coin to use that turn. Discard the generic coin after using it or at the end of the turn. Remove DC from the terrain board if this junk breaks. So you actually get to incorporate your little, where's my little cat salesperson here? Right here. You get to incorporate your lovely little cat salesperson into the actual game board, and the cat's going to start giving you some extra items and extra tokens. Alright, a little bit of flavor text, and then we'll leave you, because I want to go get this set up in our gameplay space and start playing through an actual campaign of this to show off. I think I'm going to incorporate possibly some of these scenarios like mid-campaign as well, just to show you some of the new mechanics as well. But I just want to record and show off the whole thing. I think that'd be fun to do, so let me know. Alright, let in the light. Based off of what we've seen here, this is scenario number 8, 9, possibly in the new campaign. For Ruin to begin. You expect to see another broken down boxcar in your way, but it's a series of flat cars stretching out as far as the eye can see. The smell of coal, no, gunpowder, strong enough to burn, fills the air. Smoke too. You stumble past crates lodged in pockmarked mud, eyes watering. A voice cuts through it all like a handkerchief stifling a scream. Stroke of good luck you made it this far. Tragedy, though. Building up all that confidence just for it to end like this. Sounds like a swarm of flies buzzing, that voice. A tall man appears from the smoke, bugs clinging to him like some awful halo. His eyes shimmer red above his too wide smile. The train rattles, picking up speed, sending up sparks, and throwing the insects into a tizzy. You fine folks deserve better. Then again, how many times have I said that? The man chuckles to himself before his tone grows cold. Boss lady's looking for a calamity. I'm looking for a deal. You ready to roll the dice and see how this plays out? Sounds like all bets are off. So, let in the light. We're going to be fighting against our lovely... What's his name here? I have him somewhere. Mr. Pleasant. Yeah, we're going to be fighting against Mr. Pleasant here, taking a gamble. The other events that we have is May the Dream Never Die, which is our Save Your Soul event with the Queen. Right before your eyes, the few remaining colors left in this place, those browns and yellows and that moonlight blues, start washing out into the white and gray like paint down a wall. It doesn't take long for the shapes and the shadows all around you to start warping, talking, them and us to another place and time. Feels like a window to the past, to a storefront in the middle of a bustling town. But despite how busy it might look like on the outside, here on the inside feels empty and cold. Two lone sharks out for blood, looking to swoop in and take what they feel is theirs, just standing there, acting like they already own the place. Never saw our boxcar queen that way, froze in disbelief and fear. Everything she built is coming straight down, pulled apart by a bad deal or a stroke of bad luck. Maybe both. Either way, you can't just stand and watch your friend tear herself down. So, we're going to do our very best to pull the queen back from the brink of destruction. And, finally, we have worked to death. This is the later scenario that we have. Lots of health and an interesting fighting mechanic here. It's not... Most of these fighting mechanics are not as simple as just deal straight damage to them. You'll see from the story here. Are you okay, Annie? Hotter than a steel meal in here, and it stinks just like one, too. Rotten eggs and soot cling in the air like a mix of blood and ozone dancing with suffocating smoke. Makes your eyes water enough to cloud that vision of yours. Or maybe it's the waves of heat making everyone look like it's melting down. There's a big old hole in the ground up yonder, chewing on scraps of loose metal with teeth as jagged as a broken bottle. Hard not to notice the mouth is what's pushing all that hot air out. A furnace with a face, and a wide smile that only a mother could love. Y'all here to work, or to dilly-dally? A woman shouts beyond the metallic maw, licking away at the molten steel dripping down her face. I ain't got no time for loafers or laggards. Now punch in, for I punch you out. Can't tell if that was a threat, or if you just got a job, or both. Either way, you've got work to do. So, you'll do your very best to save the lovely Sally here, and see if you can bring her back from the brink of destruction. So that's the core premise. That's what's happening here in Vagrantsong Encore. It's incorporating a lot of new stuff, a lot of exciting stuff into a game that's already beloved by so many people. Honestly, the whole point of this video was, talk excitedly about what is coming down the line and what the new stuff is going to be and show off this stuff in the prototype. But ultimately, the whole point of this entire video was just to tell people who already love Vagrantsong and maybe aren't aware that it's launching or available again, that it's available. Follow that link, go back the game. If you like boss battlers, it's good. Okay, whatever the case though, whatever you do, we'll see you next time.